Hey, good evening, everybody. If I can get settled here. We are here tonight to hear the continued application of 55 Newbury Street, Newburyport Turnpike. And, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Ruth Silman of Nixon Peabody on behalf of the applicant. When we were here last week, there were a couple of open items based on comments from town departments, from city departments. And we submitted a letter today to address each one of those concerns. We also did submit on Friday the missing Exhibit 9, the purchase and sale agreement between JAM Enterprises and JAM 3 LLC. And again, our apologies for that being delayed in getting to you. There have been some additional comments that we received today from the Building Commissioner, Planning Board, Fire Department, and Community Development. I'm happy, they seem to be kind of in line with typical comments for a development of this sort. The one thing I did just want to clarify is that the zoning board has an unusual ability in a Chapter 40B proceeding, and that is that you guys can actually endorse the approval not required plan. There's case law that says you can do so, and the subdivision plan that we submitted to you has the endorsement box for the zoning board as opposed to the planning board. You sit in the place of the planning board as the comprehensive permit authority under Chapter 40B. So that would just obviate, we don't need to go to the planning board for a separate endorsement on the subdivision plan, provided, of course, that this board grants the approval and allows the development to proceed. So we're happy to address any of the other specific comments. We have left 3 or 4 messages for the school department, for the superintendent and the transportation department. They are understandably and very appreciably on vacation, we hope, until things ramp up for school. But we do have some thoughts about where we could work with them to add a school bus stop for safety for any children and students who would be attending. Other than that, again, happy to address any specific questions. And the project engineer, project architect, and Greg Monastero are all here.
Okay, so to do our due diligence, I spoke with Kurt Bellavance today, the Community Development Director.
Yep.
He has asked me to ask you if you're agreeable, but he, as Community Development Director and also the DPW department, are requesting a third-party review. And do you agree to that?
Yes, I actually spoke to Mr. Bellavance. We talked about a third-party review for water and sewer. So is that the scope of what
Basically.
he's considering? Okay.
And so what would happen now is, as long as you're agreeable to that, if you have all of Kurt's information, if not, Clerk Carla
We
has
do.
it.
He's been very helpful through this process.
So then he would like you to get in touch with him tomorrow, and he's going to be more specific in what he wants in this third-party review.
Okay.
At the end of that, or during that, the building inspector will also chime in on, but I don't think that's going to happen until all of this is done and approved.
So we spoke
If it's
about,
approved.
the building commissioner's request that between approval and review of building permit plans, which is a whole other set, there'll be a
Right.
much more detailed set of construction drawings.
Right.
That there would be and this is a requisite review under the state building code, that there would be a third-party review for structural and
Right.
MEP and other things. So of course, we absolutely agree to that.
Okay, so what I'm looking at is coming back one more time, hopefully one more time, August 26th? You can do that, and we're going to force Barry to come.
I anticipate being back that day, but maybe later in the day. Can we leave the time open? Well, we'll see. Yeah, even a little, maybe 7:30, just to make sure that I can get back. If that's agreeable, that's... Okay, all right, okay.
Okay, so I need a,
That's fine.
I'll make a motion to keep the public meeting open and continue to August 26th for another special meeting.
all in favor? Any opposed? So,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Number 2 on the agenda this evening is a motion to amend the rules of the Board of Appeals of the zoning ordinance, City of Peabody, Massachusetts. Excuse me. We have a motion this evening to amend the rules of the Board of Appeals of the zoning ordinance, City of Peabody, Massachusetts, dated January 15th, 1985, by adding the following. The following rules are adopted in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40B. The provisions of Chapter 40B Handbook for the Zoning Board of Appeals, dated March 2017, published by the Massachusetts Housing Partnership in cooperation with the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development, Mass Housing and Mass Development, as contained in pages 15 to 29, a copy of which is annexed hereto, are heretofore incorporated by reference to these rules. I need a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Anybody, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Right. Next on the agenda is 40 Oak Street. So we are here tonight to hear the application for a 40B application. 40 Oak Street Development LLC, and it is a Chapter 40B comprehensive permit application. The mayor, the city solicitor, my clerk, and myself have worked diligently, long hours, in developing an agenda for tonight, which would include scheduling of departments, neighbors, all interested parties, any issues that were to be discussed. And as a result of this pre-hearing preparation, we were notified through council that the applicant would like to have a continuance of hearing and an extension of the deadline. There is a letter written here by Mr. Smolak, and if you please come up to the podium and read it to everybody in attendance today, that would be greatly appreciated.
Good evening, Madam Chair and other members of the board. For the record, John Smolak, attorney for the applicant. With me this evening are Michael and Larkin and Patrick Larkin, principals of the applicant. Madam Chair, what we had submitted to the board today was based on a discussion that we had with the city solicitor with respect to a proposed continuance for a period of 60 days, as you had indicated, and I'd be happy to read the substance of the letter into the record. It states it's a letter addressed to you as well as to the city solicitor. It states, as a follow-up to a discussion with Solicitor Smizmersky concerning the matter above, I respectfully requesting the Zoning Board of Appeals to open and to continue the hearing on this matter for a period of 60 days for the reasons described below. We understand that the so-called Berry Street property is one property owned by the city, which is being considered to be surplused by the city. Such parcel could be a suitable replacement parcel for the type of development being proposed at 40 Oak Street. Based on my discussions with Solicitor Smizmersky, we understand that this approach would be supported by the administration as well as the board's chair. Accordingly, we're requesting the board to open and then to continue the hearing for a period of 60 days at a time, place, and date certain. We also note that, as you're aware, 760 CMR 5605(3) of the Chapter 40B regulations state that in order to facilitate the purpose of Chapter 40B, Sections 20 through 23, to provide a streamlined permitting process that overcomes regulatory barriers to the development of low and moderate income housing, a hearing shall not extend beyond 180 days from the date of opening of the hearing, except with the written consent of the applicant. To this end, and by this letter, the applicant is willing to extend the 180-day period, which would otherwise expire on February 1, 2020, and consents to an additional period for 60 days beyond the customary 180-day hearing period, or until April 1, 2020, for a decision to be made by the board. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and we look forward to the receipt of requested written confirmation as expeditiously as possible.
So, for those of you in the audience, the board is ready to grant a continuance of the hearing and an extension of the deadline. So, I need a motion for that, and then I'll explain.
A motion to continue for 60 days and extend the deadline for 60 days.
Second.
Favor? Any opposed? So, nothing is going to be heard tonight. I'm very sorry that you came out tonight. It's very nice that I see support, but this is now continued until further notice.
Madam Chair, if I may add something, we appreciate that vote. The question is, in terms of the continuance for a 60-day period, we would like it to be at a time and date and place certain. So I guess my question is, when would the board meeting be in October? Because I think we should probably continue it to a certain date and place if we could.
Is it the 21st? So, yeah. So, we'll, ahead.
I'll amend the previous motion by stating that we will continue this until October 21 of 2019 for our meeting that night, and then we will, as stated before, grant the 60-day extension on the back end of the project, of the application.
So if I heard correctly, it's not extending it for 60 days, but till October 21st, which is fine, and it would be in this auditorium at 7 o'clock? Is that, okay.
Second.
Second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? As far as this goes right now, if you want to come back in October, we'll see you in October.
Thank you very much.
Motion to close the, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion, meeting is adjourned.